This is every de Havilland Canada aircraft from DHC-1 to DHC-8. Trainers, bush planes, transports, STOL workhorses, regional airliners, and military transports, 8 aircraft families in total. Some became aviation legends. Others transformed remote operations and regional air travel across the world. First up, DHC-1 Chipmunk, the aircraft that launched de Havilland Canada's aircraft lineage. First flown in 1946, this 2-seat trainer was designed to replace wartime trainers with a more modern platform. Powered by a de Havilland Gypsy major 8-piston engine producing 145 horsepower, it reached 222 kilometers per hour and served military pilot training programs across multiple countries. A total of 1,284 aircraft were built, making it one of the most successful post-war trainers of its era. Next, the DHC-2 Beaver, widely regarded as one of the greatest bush aircraft ever built. First flown in 1947, it was specifically designed for Canada's remote regions where short runways, lakes, and rugged terrain were common. Powered by a 450 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R985 radial engine, the Beaver carried up to 7 passengers and became famous for its exceptional short takeoff and landing performance. Production reached 1,657 aircraft, establishing its reputation across the globe. Now the DHC-3 Otter, introduced as a larger and more capable successor to the Beaver. First flying in 1951, it offered greater payload capacity and could transport up to 11 passengers into isolated locations. Powered by a 600 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R1340 radial engine, it combined strong lifting capability with rugged reliability. A total of 466 aircraft were produced, while later turbine conversions extended its operational life for decades beyond its original design. Next, the DHC-4 Caribou. This was de Havilland Canada's first major military transport aircraft. First flown in 1958, it was designed around extreme short takeoff and landing performance for tactical operations. Powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney R2000 radial engines producing 1,450 horsepower each, the Caribou could carry troops, cargo, paratroopers, or medical evacuation loads into austere environments. More than 300 aircraft were built and operated by military forces around the world. Next up, the DHC-5 Buffalo, developed to provide greater payload capacity and turboprop performance while retaining exceptional STOL capability. First flown in 1964, it used 2 General Electric T-64 engines generating 2,850 shaft horsepower each. The aircraft could transport troops, cargo, or medical evacuation loads from short and unprepared airfields. A total of 122 aircraft were produced, serving military operators in transport, rescue, and special mission roles. Continuing with the DHC-6 Twin Otter, one of the most successful utility aircraft ever developed. First flown in 1965, it combined twin-engine reliability with outstanding short-field performance. Powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney Canada PT-6A turboprops, it carried up to 20 passengers and operated from runways, floats, skis, and rough strips. Production surpassed 1,000 aircraft, and the type remains in production today, continuing service in some of the world's most challenging environments. Now the DHC-7 Dash, designed specifically for airports where runway length and noise restrictions limited operations. First flown in 1975, it used 4 Pratt & Whitney Canada PT-6A50 turboprop engines producing 1,120 shaft horsepower each. The aircraft could transport up to 54 passengers while maintaining remarkable short-field performance. Although only 113 aircraft were built, the Dash 7 demonstrated that regional airliners could successfully operate from locations inaccessible to many larger aircraft. Finally, the DHC-8 Dash, the aircraft that became de Havilland Canada's most successful regional airliner family. First flown in 1983, it was developed to provide greater efficiency, lower operating costs, and higher passenger capacity. The family expanded from the 37-seat Dash 8-100 to the larger Q400 capable of carrying up to 90 passengers. With more than 1,300 aircraft produced, the Dash 8 became one of the defining regional airliners of the modern turboprop era.